Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads, where today we're doing Saturday Shorts. Today we have two that are completely polar opposites. We start with John Grisham's Blood Drive from Ford County Stories, a tale of small town heroism and chaos that goes hilariously wrong. And then we switch gears to Game Over from the collection In Death Comes Too Late by Charles Ardai. And this is a tale of a good deed gone wrong. So stay tuned. So I hope you had a good Christmas and welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. This is Saturday Shorts and we're kicking off with Blood Drive from Ford County Stories by John Grisham. It's 49 pages in length. This collection was published in 2008. The summary of this is three young men from rural Mississippi, Augie, Calvin, and Roger, are set out on a mission of goodwill to donate blood to a friend named Bailey who was in a construction accident and is at a local hospital near Memphis. And they decide to take off after the town is gathered around Bailey's mom, who, due to her morbid obesity, is home-ridden. And they come up with their own theories and scuttlebutt, and they decide, the town comes together and they're meeting at the mom's house, and then lo and behold, Augie, Calvin, and Roger take off for Memphis to donate blood and do the goodwill, and they're given casseroles and sandwiches, and it's a real interesting small town clique. And from then, as they make their way towards Memphis, things spiral out of control. They're full of detours, bar fights, questionable decision making, and it's just hilarious. It really showcases Grisham's writing ability and just the small town dynamics and questionable human morality. It's very well done. So what makes this a really good short story? I really enjoyed Grisham's humor in this thing. It has a really comedic tone to it. Some of the things and decisions that the three make are just kind of hilarious. They're kind of don't make a lot of sense, but they're believable enough to where you're kind of engaged and you're invested in finding out what's going to go wrong. You definitely have three flawed characters in Augie, Calvin, and Roger. And I really liked kind of the small town vibes that Grisham created at the beginning of the story and towards the end when he wraps it up in conclusion. I thought there's a lot of moral ambiguity that was believable. It just made a lot of sense for a southern small town. I really liked the small town culture. I thought Grisham really did a really good job of writing it directly and indirectly in the story. And it kind of stayed throughout like a ever-present theme, I would say, and it was really well done. The pacing is fantastic. You get a lot of different action that you just wouldn't guess would happen with this plot of driving in their pickup to Memphis to donate blood for Bailey. And it's just really well done. Some of the excerpts, it was a noble mission if only they could survive their own stupidity long enough to make it and complete it. I thought that was a really good one. And then there was another excerpt that was, sometimes the best intentions pave the road straight to hell, or at least to Memphis. I thought that was really good. I gave this short story a 4.5. I thought it was great. Definitely a really solid way to start off a new fiscal year in my short story reading after I did my top 10. So this was really, really good. You should definitely check out this collection. I've read 2 short stories from it now, and both of them I really enjoyed. And so now we'll switch gears and we're going to go into this collection from Charles Ardai. It's Death Comes Too Late. This collection of 20 short stories in the hard case crime genre are really good. I've read this collection in its entirety before. This book came out in 2024, early in the year, and I was really anxious to get into it as I knew hard case crime was a genre I was going to enjoy. And I remember this story upon reread, and it's a good one. A summary of this story called Game Over. It's kind of a noir short story about ambition, deception, high stakes gambling, with more than just quarters and money and video arcades. It's set in kind of a seedy town and follows Nino, who's a video arcade owner, along with Manny, who's a pizza maker. But the real kind of main protagonists are both Lyle and Kyle, who are young teenagers who go to a school that they continually skip out and are truant, and they come to Nino's place to play arcades. Kyle can stretch a quarter for a long, long ways. And then you kind of get some backstory that Kyle does not come from a really great family, where Lyle comes from a really respectable family, but they have a friendship and bond that is really, really good. And it becomes key in this story as their connection and obsession with video games is what both connects them in their friendship, but also puts perspective on their lives even at a young age. And so what makes this a really good short story? Obviously, there's some really good themes here. Ambition, morality, greed, and consequences are ever present throughout this. There's an interesting police officer named Ramirez who plays a role here. I thought he was a really good side character and played the cop role very, very well in the story. I think for people who like hard case crime, pulp, and noir, this is right up your alley because I think it combines both the gritty hard case crime writing, but in rapid pace of a short story together. And I think it's just really well done. I think the pacing's great. As I mentioned, I think it has unexpected twists, especially the conclusion, I think is very unexpected. And it really kind of leaves you aghast. And I'm not going to say any more because that would ruin it. But I really like this one. An excerpt from this was, "Trust was a currency he spent too freely. Now it's gone, leaving only enemies in its wake." And I thought it was a really good excerpt. In terms of rating, I give this a 4.3. I thought it was really solid. I did like the Grisham story a little better for its humor, but this is a very good short story. Overall, it's probably the epitome of this collection because of how gritty, the plotting, the pacing, the twists, I think is just very indicative of this collection from Charles Ardai. And you should definitely check this out. And that, my friends, is my 2 short stories for this week. I really enjoyed these, got some hard case crime in, and then went back to the Grisham's collection. It's really, really good. You should definitely check it out. A little bonus, I know a lot of people are posting videos about, hey, here's a book haul, I spent my Christmas money, and etc. I did buy 2 books, and I hopefully, and I'm going to tag him in the video, Bob from Robert G. Reader of Books. He had mentioned, kind of a Rome reading 2025, and one of the books he mentioned on there, I said, hey, I'm going to pick that up, and I did get it with my Christmas money. I picked up Mary Bird's Emperor of Rome, and I'm really excited to dive into this thing. There's some beautiful illustrations in here in color. I mean, even though it's a trade paperback, it's a really nice book. And then I also picked up from Barnes & Noble, and I was there yesterday with the girls, I picked up 20 Great Tales of Horror by H.P. Lovecraft, a hardback edition. I really was interested in this, obviously, for these 2 short stories, which are The Rats in the Walls and The Call of Cthulhu. And I'm really excited to get into these. So I just wanted to kind of show you that bonus, and I will tag Bob. Hopefully he's excited that I picked this up and I'm going to be diving into this in 2025. So that is my Saturday shorts for this week. I hope you're having a great week and recovering from all the Christmas goodies and wrapping and family functions. And I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks.